Hello, family. What's going on? We are back. It's been a minute. Thank you guys for your patience of just tuning in. So we got a new setup, new everything. I'm pretty sure you all been following. So we got a lot of new stuff going on. So our podcast changed from Clarity Lounge to JunkHeads. So hope that you all find the name quite intriguing and funny. So something that we curated and just to try to be a little more, uh, I guess, descriptive of our style, you know. So we're witty, it's funny, but it's going to be Bible-based practicality, how to apply it to your life. So we hope that you enjoyed that. And you can tune in every Monday at 7 o'clock. That's the JunkHeads podcast. So we had to start over the whole platform. So we really, really need you. Now, y'all listen, because a lot of y'all been watching, and we do appreciate that, but help us out. You have to click like, you have to subscribe, and the bell icon so you'll be notified when we drop new content. So you want to make sure that you're doing those things first. So throughout the video, we'll be saying, hey, go ahead and subscribe, because we have some goals that we're trying to reach, and we need your help, point blank period, right? We need your help to kind of make those things happen. So what's been going on? Well, a lot has happened, and you'll be hearing a lot of those things in our up and coming videos, where we got a lot of things coming up. Just life, y'all. Life has happened. For those that remember last time, I talked about my journey with cancer, and praise God, I'm cancer free. Yeah. So I'm going to be documenting some of those things and letting you guys in a little bit, just kind of see what that journey was like and what I went through, as well as, life and just all things. Yeah. So how do we come up with the name JunkHeads? So, and this is going to tie in with what we're talking about tonight.
This is a good tie-in segue into that.
Because JunkHead, the name, deals with all the clutter, all the chaos, all those things that are constantly in our head. I don't know about you. If you all felt that way or have been going through those things, drop a thumbs up in the comment section. Because like sometimes you're trying to get your thoughts together, but it's like
there's so
much going on. And right now, I believe in this time, things are so loud. Like everything's so loud. You have to deal with perfectionism. You have to deal with your insecurities. You have to deal with what people said. You have to deal with your framework and culture as an individual. And sometimes that can get overwhelming. So we came up with this JunkHeads because sometimes our head's so full of junk, we won't get that stuff out, basically. So the logo and everything. And we feel that this brand is kind of like tied into the authenticity of who we are. Would you say?
I was going to say it fits our character, it fits our vibe, it fits our just what we want to depict and what we want to be known for. It just it made perfect sense. And so we toyed around with a couple of different ideas. To be honest, the Clarity Lounge was kind of like that pilot launch, if you will, of like this podcast. We love it. We think far as content, we felt great about it. Title, we just didn't feel we were there yet.
Yeah.
So after just much exploration and just starting to just really spend some time around, like, what do we want people to really get off of this platform or receive from this platform? What's really our message? What's really our style? And when we, when he came up with JunkHeads, you all know he's a brand master and, graphic designer. So when we saw, we both immediately were like, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It's unique, it's creative, it's different. It's a conversational like starter. If we wore shirts that said JunkHeads, people would ask, well, what does that mean? Boom, we got them. We could have a conversation and dig in. And then the image alone speaks for itself, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just excited to be back on and just continue our journey with this podcasting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it kind of, even with the branded colors that we chose, the color selection and the color palette, it's more life, it's more friendly Clarity Lounge was a little bit more masculine, wouldn't you
It's
say?
had a
Yeah.
jazzy,
Yeah.
cool feel, but it didn't really speak to us together, if that made sense.
Yeah.
You understand? It just felt like that Andre After Dark.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we feel that this platform is kind of more, with the I don't know, it's inviting to family, like
it's vibrant.
It's just
it's
very
us.
vibrant. It's quirky because we can be kind of giddy and silly sometimes.
Yeah.
You all probably know that when we went through the whole Charlie Brown episode, the whole thing with Charlie Brown. But we feel that this really gives
it suits us.
Right. Yeah, that's a good word to sum it up. It suits us. So look for upcoming information, different things like that. We appreciate so much those of you who have hung out with us and those of you that are constantly been texting and hey, when y'all bringing the podcast back? But like we said, it wasn't our intent to be gone away so long, but y'all, as they say, even though I hate to say this phrase, I'm going to say it. Life be lifing.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Life be lifing. So, but we're back and we're creating consistent rhythm. Again, every Monday night at 7:00, you can look forward to seeing us doing an upload, just talking about all things pertaining to life and godliness to help us just push through. And if we ever need that time to push through, is now. We definitely need that time. So tonight's topic, and I know y'all been waiting for this. Our first new episode is mental clarity. Look, I had a mental fart, as they say. Mental clarity and spiritual clarity.
Yes.
And these are some topics that we feel is very impactful. Mental clutter, y'all.
And spiritual clarity.
Spiritual clarity. I knew that. I was just seeing it. No, really, y'all, I got it wrong.
It's a tongue twister.
It is.
Mental clutter. You got me. Cluck. Mental clutter and spiritual clarity.
Right.
What does all of that even?
So when you think about it, like we said initially, just stuff in life has a way.
So let's start with the mental clutter. So when we're talking about like mental clutter, what are we saying?
With the mental clutter, we're basically dealing with all things that we compartmentalize in our head, because we have a way of taking and sectioning off things in our head, because this is our central processing unit, like everything. So when it talks about mental, it really has to deal with our state of being in our mental capacity to receive and process. That's what I'm saying.
But let me say something. But when we say clutter, though, is that the same as saying you compartmentalize and section out, or it just looks like a big scramble of stuff in your head?
Well, but see, because I believe you could still have the clutter and it could be
compartmentalized.
Yeah, because it's a mess, basically. It's a mess. And I guess what
looks like clutter. Like when I picture my clutter, it's all over.
Yeah, just all over the place.
It's all over the place. I literally feel like the image a lot of times, especially now. Because you're trying to, it's like a juggling act. Like you just feel like there's so much swimming.
All them things.
Swimming in your head between work, life, kids, family, no family, whatever. Just so much of what's happening in life, day in and day out, right?
Yeah, it's powerful because we first have to recognize that there is a hoarding issue with thoughts, because that's actually what it is. And I know we're not going to like that word tonight, but it's like you're a mental hoarder.
Yeah,
because it's like you're stirring up all these things, and it's like
that show Hoarders.
Yeah, Hoarders. My dad has this thing that he does. He'll take the mail, open it, and put it over here, put a rubber band around it, put it over here, and he's got all these stacks of things,
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes because of the size, weight, and volume of it, we don't want to deal with it right now.
Yeah.
And that's what happens a lot of times with those things. It's like, I don't want to process through that, right now. I just want to, I'm just gonna go over here and look at Pinterest or swipe on Instagram because mentally I'm exhausted. Have any of you ever felt like that? You're just mentally exhausted. You need to process some things, but you're just mentally exhausted and don't really want to deal with that right now. And what it does, it creates clutter, because it's literally, if we could metaphorically speak, it's like putting boxes of stuff in a room that you keep omitting to go through and process through. And so the dangers of that is it brings your productivity in all things to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
You're not able to be as productive as you want to be,
because you think of it in the physical sense, like, well, most times when you hear clutter, oftentimes you first go to like clutter in somebody's home and somebody's like the physical aspect.
Yeah.
But mental clutter is just as destructive. Like if there's just, it's piling up, storing up, filling up to a point where you have almost no room, no capacity for anything new or any more room to really process anything new or just, so it requires a cleansing, which is the other piece of this when we talk about spiritual clarity and just really cleaning out the clutter. Like, what do you do, when you're in a state of clutter, and a lot in the physical sense, one would think, and there are people that definitely hoard it, and hoarding is just holding on to it. But when you take a step to try to sort it out, compartmentalize or get some order to it, realizing you got to remove some things, you got to adjust some things, you got to take it out, not give it place. Yeah, purge is a great word. Delete, exactly. So that you can make room for one, just room in your head to sort and think clearer, so you can see and feel clarity,
Yeah.
But then also just it, loosening the weight of it, because clutter can create a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
Just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about, like, even on my computer, sometime it'll say memory full,
like storage,
and it'll say
That's
storage full, and it'll say go and like delete some stuff. You need to delete some stuff in order for the system to run properly.
Yeah.
And I look at that, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Like, what's the process of deletion? Because now you know what you need to do, but how do you delete those things? How do you remove thoughts from your central processing unit? Like, what do you have to do to navigate through those things? And it's like cleaning a room. Like, if the room is a mess, what do? Everything has its proper pace, right? Throw away the junk, but those things that you're keeping, you maybe fold them up. You maybe put them in a drawer instead of on the floor. And I think that's when we talk about mental clarity, and getting through that clutter is we got to learn how to process through it.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, like, with a lot of things, when it deals with our mental capacity, a lot of times we don't know how to process through that stuff.
Yeah.
We really don't. And sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need, mentors, psychiatrists. Sometimes we need professional therapy to help us process through those things and get rid of those. And they could be, what are some of the things, and guys, just kind of engage you a minute. What are some things that you feel are would be classified as mental clutter? Okay. Yeah. And I'll start it off. Okay. So insecurities, in detailed specifics, how I look. Sometimes we can roll that over and over in our head and it becomes clutter. Every time you say, there's no solution, you're just stuck on that, how I look. I don't look good in this. I don't look good in that. What if somebody see me in this? And so all these thoughts keep rolling around in your head, and there's no processing. They kind of stay there. And even now I'm talking about, it's like a clump of junk.
Like a ball of wax.
Ball. Yeah, like a ball. It's not moving. It's not serving you well, but we just let it stay right there and don't really deal with or process through it. So drop in the comment section some things that you feel are challenging and can be classified as mental clutter.
Yeah, I think worries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just
worries,
high
levels of anxiety,
levels of worries and anxieties about, just whatever things happening in life.
Yeah.
I also think unresolved offenses or issues.
Yeah.
Because it plays in your head like, man, I want to get this right. It's interesting because when it's unresolved, like some area of an offense, as much as we act like we'll say, oh, that don't bother me. But how, I've heard people ask this question, like, what keeps you up at night?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, what is that thing that keeps you up at night? So what that's rolling around in your head. So you got to think, okay, I got worries. I got unresolved issues. I got tomorrow's concerns. I got, my to-do list. I have, and it doesn't have to all be bad, but what happens, it piles and it piles and it piles and it piles. And you're not really working through that. And so I love what you said, treat it like, like, what do you say? Like the process of cleaning. This is another good one. Like I saw we in our notes we were writing down, and I was thinking like handling text messages. Some things are unread, some things you have to delete. Some things go into
emails
junk.
too.
Emails, right? Some things just go straight into junk mail. Hence, no pun intended, JunkHeads. But what is that stuff that is not even important to really give thought
junkie?
To?
We're junkies,
and we become junk.
Junkhead junkies.
So what is it? What do you have to really delete from the clutter, from your brain, your thoughts, and how do you do that, right? And why is it important? I think that's the key. It's like deal with it, move it around, and get it out of your head.
Right. And I wanted to go back a little bit because I think sometimes because the basis of our show is creating practical biblical principles. And in short, how do we walk that out? So I think what we have to understand first is even though it's a good concept to have an awareness of it, but God has a lot to say about even that, and what my prayer and desire is for us is that we don't just take the word like, because we could be super spiritual, but it's nothing changing. That's like a really stagnated, stale place. You're saying all this stuff, but nothing is changing. And the reason why is because the word of God is alive and we have to put it to practice. So Proverbs 23:7, it tells us our thoughts have the ability to shape our direction, our thoughts. So if you're cluttered up, then you wonder why you ever known somebody, like we say, all over the place, like a chicken with their head cut off. My good friend, we joke all the time, Sharon, and Sharon's probably on here, but I asked her, I think I sent her this little clipping where it says, "Are your ducks in a row?" So I started off and we were just funny, like she told me, I don't even know where some of my ducks at, and one of my ducks is a chicken, so it speaks to what it looks like as a picture. All of this discord and clutter, you cannot be productive in that. Not with anything. Now I don't know about like even when we cook sometime. When I cook sometime, I like to have stuff, believe it or not, my art skills are a bit different, but when I cook, it's totally a different monster because I like the onions cut up here, the cutting board here. I have a little bag tied to the cabinet. So it's pretty organized because what it does, it increases my productivity. When I feel like I got to grab all over the place, you got to scratch here. Well, where's the paprika? All this kind of stuff. It's going to slow down because the churns be hungry. Our children stay hungry all the time, but that's a different show. All the time, I'm talking about it should be a path to our refrigerator. But so let's kind of talk about, how do we get through those things? Now that we know we've identified the clutter, what are some practical things we can do to help us move from that place of mental clutter to spiritual clarity? How do we what's the journey? What's the roadmap to those things? So first and foremost, identify. When you say you got to identify that, most journeys of freedom, most journey of clarity start with you recognizing where you are. So we have to first recognize that we're in this place, it's cluttered here. It's no resolve, it's no freedom, it's no movement. So I have to acknowledge where I am. So take an assessment of where you are, and then we're gonna come up with a plan to begin to, here's that big word, sort through and compartmentalize those things the proper way. So now your containers are clear and they hold what you need in its proper place. Some stuff, and it goes back to what you say, some stuff need to be deleted in trash. And I think about sometime when I'm purging my email. I have one email, when you go to the store and they always ask you for your email, I have one email and it's full of junk. I don't even know how to go there. I just go and unread, delete all of it. But it's like things like that. What are the systems in our mental that cause us to put these things in different compartments? What does that look like? How do we do that in the natural? So some things that I'll do and I'll share. How do you do that? Fond memories or things that are happy or different things like that. I hold those close to my heart. Okay. Something that I delete and get rid of offenses and things that hurt me. Now, that's easier said than done, because sometimes when it's like impactful trauma, it doesn't just dissipate like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it takes time to unravel. But here's the thing, like we said, you're aware and you're working toward the deletion of that thing. What does the deletion look like? It's when you have mentally moved that place to an area that it doesn't affect your temperament, tone, and walk that day. It doesn't affect those things. You're able to walk clearly. You can experience joy, and you don't have that invasion of that thought. And it takes work. It takes work to do that. I'm reminded of the scripture that tells us that we have power, and I'm quoting this, Andre's version. We have the power to do what? Cast down imaginations. And what it's talking about, any imagery that enters our head, we have the ability to pull that stuff down. So in getting that spiritual clarity, that's what it takes. Once you know where you are and you're assessing the situation, now it's time to put things in its proper place. Certain things need to be trash, not to remember anymore. But certain things that we draw strength from, we remember those, like pleasantries. When we got married, that's a fond memory of mine. You think about that and it put a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that we want to dive into and curate that space of creating that spiritual clarity. What are some things you?
So yeah, I was gonna say a couple of things on that. I think that's great, and I love what you're admonishing people to do. Is first, once you identify, just thinking about what is it that you need to do to try to sift through it, get it out of your head. If it's taking up too much rent and space in your head, that doesn't really need to continue to be there, because if it's stifling you, it's causing worries, it's causing you to, because believe it or not, when we have a lot of clutter and a lot going on in our heads, it's hard to just remain focused to get things done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to stay motivated in doing certain things. I've often think about me, when I'm in a space where it just feels like my head is clouded with so much. Even when I'm at work, it's hard to just fully focus.
Right.
As much as you ever find yourself just trying to either like type out something, or this is a good one. I know sometimes we've been in the car and you're driving and all of a sudden I'm like, where are you going? He's like, man, I was just thinking of so many things. You lose sight of direction, right? You're not even, it's hard because your mind is
thought hoarding.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Somebody type that in the comment. That's a good one. I'm thought hoarding. I'm thought hoarding.
Yeah. Because it's too much stuff taking up space, and then you can't think clearly. You can't see clearly. You lose sight and direction of where you're trying to go and do and things you want to accomplish. Eventually you get tired. Mental exhaustion is a real thing.
It is.
A lot of people, because there's so much that's been coming. Now you're also trying to just maintain day-to-day stuff on top of things that of old, whether this is a week ago, a day ago, and sometimes it can all happen in one day. So again, we're trying to bring you to a place where you identify and then figure out what can you do to move yourself through that. Now, with respect in regards to the fact that some things, if it's trauma related, it may take a minute or two. We're not saying you're just going to just boom, it's out. Some of this, you said it, pulling down those imaginations, right? Those things. Pulling down, that's work. That means you have to be taking active part in doing something.
Being intentional.
And be intentional about it. So, hey, if you're thinking about a situation where you were offended or bothered or something that you just had an argument, whatever that looks like. So, all right, how do you process that and work through it so that you can go ahead and settle it in your mind and move it on, right? If it's worrying, are you thinking on the things that God has said in his word about things that are pure, lovely, just of good rapport? Just you start reflecting on things that'll help move you through those places and spaces so that you can hopefully clear out your mind to maybe see a little bit clearly and make room for some of the more pure thoughts or thoughts that are more lovely and of good rapport. Because when you have clearer thoughts, why is that important? When you have spiritual clarity or just clarity of mind, man, you're so much more productive. Your attitude's probably going to perk up. You're going to feel a sense of joy that comes upon you.
Yeah, because it's not weighty.
And it's not weighty. Clutter is weighty.
Yeah.
It is weighty. And so been there and done that. And it's just overall not healthy. You know what I mean? It's just not healthy. And it can cause you to start spiraling downward with your thoughts and sink you. And so a lot of times it's like, how do you spiral upwards and really bring yourself to a place of just wholeness in the way you think and in clearing your mind? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I was thinking
Mhm.
about one time I was going through, I don't remember particularly what it was, but I was kind of in that dazed place. Like they would say, someone's in a active fight and somebody hit you, all your senses are kind of dull.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my clients, she's a good friend of mine, Lucretia Wyndham, and she said this to me. She said, Andre, you got to clear the noise.
That's
And
true.
Lucretia is always, she's a joker. You know, Lucretia's jokes, but at that time, I was like, oh my God, that's so powerful. Clear the noise. And I also thought about this song. I think I hope I get this young lady name right. Jordan Welch, I think it is. I might be saying that wrong, but she did this song and it went viral on Instagram and platforms. Silence the noise in my heart, Lord. Silence the noise in my heart. I want to see you. And basically, she was saying that it's so much noise, like we're saying, we want it to be silent so we could process through that. So one of the things and one of the points that we said, be aware. Number 2 was being intentional. Yeah. And Val kind of talked about it. You got to be intentional with our efforts of snatching that stuff down, because you know, where it lives is in a place that's embedded in our mind. Until we get the power to delete it, we have to cause a rearrange and let that junk know, hey, you don't serve me anymore. And when you get to that place that it doesn't serve you anymore, then we can go ahead and get it out of our mind. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear God when you have so many opinions and so many things screaming at you. And the Bible tells us that he always, or most of the time, God is found in that still small voice.
Yeah.
So everything is like, and it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming sometimes, and you just want to break free from it all. But there is power and strength in that when we begin to sort, be aware of it, and now I'm going to be intentional of what I'm going to pull down, what I'm going to delete, what I'm going to exit.
I love what you said
out of my life.
How sometimes God's still small voice, his whisper, we can't hear it over the noise and the screaming of the loudness of everything that's around us. And so it reminds me of that movie, Inside Out.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And that's a good one because if you haven't seen that, the part 2 especially, I think that was I still haven't looked up like whatever the director and all that, but I said that had to be a spiritually based, Holy Spirit led type of movie. But when I say that thing was such a depiction of what we look like day in and day out, with all these emotions and things coming at us and trying to make a decision, and we're just trying to hear from all of that. And what that showed in that movie was, man,
just trying to make it through the day.
It's so real life, and you're just trying to make it through the day. And when it seems like everything's starting to get loud, and then it seems like it's loud in your head too. You know what I mean? And so just being able to silence yourself, and a lot of that, like you said, it requires you to just settle, be still, and just starting to quiet your spirit down. And what does that mean? Just give yourself some moments that you can just pause, breathe, reflect. For some people, that could be walking. For others, that could be just calming music. For others, it could be yoga, but working out in a solo, not in loud
spiritual meditation,
not in loud environments. So you just got to figure out how based on your personality and your style, what does that look like to be still and quiet yourself down, so you can begin to sort through a lot of the noise in your head and the junk.
I remember you had a good illustration. I don't know if you remember that when you talked about being still one time. You shared that with me because you do this event so often.
Oh, yeah.
It's like she does a host of the Be Still retreat. And you had said that you came with this revelation about like being still, because sometimes people think being still is just sitting doing nothing. Yeah. But being still, when we're talking about dismantling those agents, I want to call those invasions and agents of that deposit mental clutter, being still is majorly important. So it's not just sitting doing nothing.
Yeah, Because for some people, you could be sitting there and that might not be the healthiest thing, because then now your mind's, you ever have people to say, I can't sit still because my mind starts going and I don't think. So what we do, we busy ourselves, right? But it means mind, body, soul, spiritually, everything just settling, just literally being still.
Like taking a breath.
And it really, and I remember, I think, because I do host this, and when I do this retreat, it's a very small, intimate setting, usually about 8 ladies, plus myself and, and my supporting team. But typically we come and it's a few days, and literally I say, I just want you to just be, you know what I mean? Be still, but just be, like, no phones, just allow yourself to be fully present and engaged here. And if that means no music, quiet, if that means go sit if that means staring at the ripples in the water in the pool, whatever that looks like, allow yourself, because you need mental clarity, you need mental soundness. You just got to learn to just stop and be. We look at that scripture, people just like, oh, be still and know, like, just let me just pause, like that pause. We call it that mannequin challenge. No, because what I'm saying is it's being intentional about how you're going to stop, and refrain from all the things that can come in and interrupt, but fully bring not just physically present, but mentally present and fully engaged in the moment of just allowing your soul to rest.
Right.
And that's something a lot of us aren't doing because we're in the hustle and the bustle of life.
And it's continuous.
I get it. And it's interesting because we always say, well, we'll wait till when you're not busy. I don't know a day in a life that any of us is going to ever just say, I'm not busy. If we don't become intentional about not just being so busy and busy doing what? We're just busy going. Some of us aren't even clear about where we're going. I was convicted of that. Like, you're just busy, but what are you busy doing? And it's like, stop, be still. And so when you really study the scripture, was in a time of just war and chaos. And the Lord was saying, like, you be still and I'll fight for you. Because sometimes we feel we got to hustle and bustle and fight and do. And the Lord says, be still and know that I am God. I'm the one that's going to fight this battle. I'm the one that's here for you. I'm the one that can help restore you. I'm the one that can bring your soul to rest.
Right.
And so it's in that time, and he can help us get mental clarity, really. And that's what the other piece of this topic is when we talk about not just, clearing the clutter, but also spiritual clarity. And we want to be careful with the word spiritual. We're not talking, I'm not here to listen. We talking about God, Spirit of the living God, God Most High. There is one. So I want to be clear about when we say spiritual. I'm not talking about getting into all these unique practices and these other things. I'm simply saying, in a natural sense, just knowing how to be super, also in the spiritual sense, looking at God and allowing him to just resting in his presence. Yeah.
It's so funny because I think one of the things that it's like, I feel like it's got to be stamped, clarity is not a one-time thing. It's not a, how they said thing, a one horse,
one and done?
No, one pony show. You never heard that? A one horse pony show or some show. Anyway,
a one man, no,
one show. Yeah. Anyway, it's not a one-time thing, but it's a process of ongoing. Keep ongoing. When that thing rears its head, you gotta snatch it down again. Because cluttered thoughts are disrespectful. They're disrespectful and disobedient. They don't like to stay in their place. So you have to constantly reprimand them and say, look, I don't process that way anymore, and put that thing in its place. And that's when the work comes in, because you have to monitor those things that might trigger you and set you in that place. You have to continue, take an assessment and say, and that's the word I like to use. I don't operate in that particular emotion anymore. I don't operate from that place anymore. And then eventually, when you put together time and time again, you'll begin to see the progression. You begin to walk out of that and choose daily. You got to choose daily. This is vital. You got to choose daily what voice is speaking you're going to silence.
Yeah. It's a daily mind renewal.
Daily mind renewal.
And oh, go ahead.
Some of the ways ends are it's literally, what are we watching? Right? What are we looking at? What are you allowing in to stir up this havoc and cause this? It's like you clean your room and you let stuff come in to mess it up. Believe it or not, my brother and I, when we were younger, we used to work on a farm, and the guy had chickens. So we would go out there with my dad. And one thing, we would have to clean the chicken coop, which is horrible. I mean, chicken poop everywhere. And if you never smelled, this is probably way graphic, but chicken poop smells like ammonia. Like, I mean, it's very pungent in its fragrant, and it's hard and it sticks on stuff. So we would have to first go in there with a scraper thingy, scrape it off.
Say a scalpel?
Yeah, no, it's not a scalpel, it's a scraper thing. Yeah, I was gonna say. And we have to scrape it up off the floor, and then we have to wash it down, all the stuff. It was a process to do. And then we would open the door, because it was as if, y'all, the chickens knew we were cleaning. So they'd be pecking at the door, trying to get in, all that kind of stuff. So once you're done, you let them back in. When I tell y'all everything was clean, they would come in and squirt all over the place. Chicken poop all over the place, and we just did all that cleaning. Why am I telling that very graphic story? Because that's the way it is with our mind. When we become aware and intentional, and we understand that it's a day-to-day process to set those things in order and in place, then once you get that thing clean, the real work is keeping it that way. Because just as the chicken story, those thoughts come to poop all over your clean place and your clean mental framework. They come in that no other reason but to implant chaos. And again, what we said at the beginning, it's going to slow down your productivity. It's going to make you want to just lie in the bed and don't move. It's going to, affect your movement, all those things. So we have to be in a place that we're aware and intentional. And here's the thing, the ugly truth. You just got to muster up the energy and know that this is going to be an ongoing thing. I got to do it day by day. It's going to happen day by day. And that's the only way those thoughts can be really slayed. I
love that.
That's the only way they can be slayed and removed.
Which
and then
suggests to me it's a fight.
It's a fight, yeah.
It's a fight.
Like slaying a giant.
It is a daily fight to make sure that you are keeping yourself mentally sound, mentally clear. Because it just that fast in a day's time, anything can switch, and your whole mental state can just completely be interrupted. Which is hey, you don't believe me? How many times you go on social media, you see something, and you were having a beautiful day, you were joyous, you were doing all the wonderful things and getting things done, and all of a sudden you stop, you watch, and everything sinks.
Yeah.
And then you start creating stories in your head.
You're
adding stories and feelings and all these emotions around some visual you saw, some picture you saw, some desire that you wished. Why wasn't me? Woe is me. I don't know. So now pity starts setting in, frustration, anger, whatever that looks like. And now your head starts getting cluttered for the next hours of this stuff. And it builds. That's the thing about it. It doesn't take long. It can literally, your mind could get flooded with clutter in such a short time if you're not careful. So here we go again, clean it out, daily renewal, and each day it's a process. And no, it's just being intentional about the things you do. Like you said, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're hearing, being aware of your triggers, being aware of what you are still holding on to, making sure that you're doing things to try to get the mental help and health that you need, whatever that looks like based on you, and it's important because you want to see movement and progression. That at the end of the day, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
So that you can accomplish and you can see, yourself getting and doing the things you need to do and get to day over day. It's not easy. We're all going to deal with it, but the world outside's heavy enough right now. And so keeping your mental state clear for the things that are on the horizon, being aware. Some of us can't watch news too long.
Right, yeah.
Find out what you need to find out, but be careful of the thing, a lot of the news, because think about it, news after news after news. What do you think you're doing to your mental? You just feeding it, all that stuff. Deaths, floods, this, that. And then then after you spent time there, fear starts creeping in.
Yeah.
Nervousness, worriness. Now all that's in there.
Clutter.
That's how clutter, and it looks like our image. JunkHead.
Right. I was trying, and I was thinking when you were talking about that, because I got stuck in that moment, and I was thinking about how we access the clutter, but when we say you hold on to it, and I was just led to go back and reiterate that. So how do we hold on to these things is when we don't release them and let them go. For example, if I'm a person dealing with loneliness and I see a couple walking in the park, I'm triggered, and the way I hoard the emotions is I hold on and I begin to, listen, y'all, this is going to be good. Holy Spirit just told me this. I begin to feed non-positive verbiage to those insecurities and that clutter. Things like, oh, I ain't gonna never get married. It just seemed like it's taking so long. And you just keep burying yourself. And the clutter now is, all over the place, like the chicken story. It's all over the place. So what we have to do is become aware, like we said, be intentional, understand it's a day-to-day process, and delete, compartmentalize, and put those things in their proper place in order. Everything has a proper place in order in our life, and in clearing your mental capacity or resetting your database to get valuable information that's going to propel you into those things that you want to do, those common things that you want to see in your life. You have to have a system of deleting those thoughts. You have to. There's no other way around it. You have to take authority over those things and just delete those. So I want to pose a challenge to all who are listening and those that will catch the replay and those things. I want you to set a time. It doesn't have to be extremely long, but set a small time where you just sit in that big chair, if that's your house, or on your, we got our little prayer lounge, as you all can see, or whatever it is you do to your thinking pod, if I can say it that way. And I want you to do in your thinking pod, and no cell phone, no books, nothing. Just begin to think in thoughts that you're going to delete, like literally in your mind. Have almost like, how you clean out the garage and you pull out
like
the,
clean emails, clean garage,
we're going to clean it out. Clean that stuff, get it out.
Things that don't need to be there anymore.
That no longer serve you.
That's not serving you well.
At all.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you're going to see.
Clean out the junk in your head.
Clean it out.
Clean out the junk in your head.
And that way
be intentional. You're right. And it's going to take a quieting of yourself. Be still. And I love that you say that, because the freedom that comes behind that, you know what I mean? And when you learn how to really take charge of your thoughts and your minds and what you can let enter in versus not, it's so freeing. It is so freeing. You know what I mean? It won't be perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but what I am saying is you become more intentional. Like, oh, no. I already know I'm not even going to get in that space. Oh, no. I'm not going to hold on to this thought. No. Let me go ahead, because you start understanding how you can be impacted by that.
I think too, and I just had this thought when you were talking, clutter invades our intimacy with God.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's literally like, in the Bible speaks to this, he likes a singleness of heart, which means when I come to spend time with God, he don't want me thinking about, oh, did I put that pot on the stove? Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, God, you were, did I clock out from the job? He doesn't want us divided. He wants our attention. And so in doing that, we have to make sure, it's like a wife who's getting ready to seek God, and she makes sure the children are fed. She makes sure the husband know that putting those things orderly so you can really get the value out of that time and not distracted or separated in your attention. And that's when we talk about the intentionality, because I don't want anybody to come and talk about they visit me and they love me, but they are constantly on their phone, or they hold on a minute, let me go ahead and they talking over here. And now this is this. You're not going to get intimate in that time square. That ain't going to happen because you're divided.
Life, we both have been here where we'll set a time to study. Like we said, we're about to study our word, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, what happened? I just can't focus right now.
Yeah.
I just can't study right now.
That's
just
good.
Too
Focus.
Much going on. And oftentimes it's not because you're not feeling good. It's things that's going on in your mind. You're just not there. How many times you're like, I just don't feel like doing that? Most time the lack of
my mind is all over the place.
My mind is all over the place. I just can't think right now. When you think of words and phrases when we're saying that, that's what's going on in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And God is saying, what are you allowing to interrupt our connection here? And it's the clutter. So when you're going to give a challenge, this will be a good one. As you begin to journal and sit and think, just write down this question. What clutter is interrupting my connection with God? What
Absolutely.
clutter is interrupting my connection with God in this moment? May not be forever, but right now. And then he'll reveal to you if you're not sure, or he'll help you sort of like, God, I need you to just help me work through this. Be healed from this. I need direction on this. I need clarity on this. I need to figure out how to get through this. I need to release this, or just how to just clear my thoughts right now. And if you don't, he will teach you those things.
And those that dare to do this, please don't allow yourself to be churchy with this.
Yeah, no.
And what I mean by that, don't tell me the devil is busy. And we know he's busy. We've been saying that for years. He's busy. No. What isolated issues and things or pain points you see that are breaking connection? And I was thinking about, it's like, when we're on our cell phone talking, and sometimes you get those calls like, well, there's a what?
Yeah.
Interference.
I would say interruption.
Yeah, it's an interference that interrupts your level of communication and comprehension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you have to
clear.
do? It ain't clear. So you got to clear the line. Sometimes you have to reset. Let me call you back.
Yeah.
So those are things that we're doing. We're resetting that area in that place of mental clarity, and that's what it comes with, because everything just going to dump out of your head. Who wants to be that? We're JunkHeads. How you going to be an empty head? How you going from a JunkHead to an empty head? So it's not making you an empty-headed person, but it's a person that has caused clarity by organizing your thoughts.
Yeah. I got another, since we're talking about phone analogies, this is another good one. What happens when you have too many things open? Apps. They start slowing down. You can't really move it to a point. Sometimes you get stuck.
Yeah.
You can't really move and function, and you get flustered. Like, why is my screen not doing it? And I can't. So now you're looking,
especially if you have an Android.
I don't have that anymore.
I know, right? Yeah. She came on over, y'all. She's been converted to apostolic.
Whatever.
It's spiritual.
But think about it. So what do you have to do? Close
those apps.
Some of the apps down. Because you have way too much open. Same with our minds. We have way too much open.
Too many windows.
Too many windows open. Close some of those apps down in your mind so you can make room for clarity. So that's good right there.
And some of that is some of the ways that we do that even more. I'm like building on that, because I want people to walk away with, not only, I think we've done a great job of telling you what the issue is, but the solution is where we want to be solution driven. How do you close them down? Some thoughts, put them over. You can't deal with them now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your great grandbaby trying to get here for the summer, next summer, and you already over in that summer trying to process it. No, see, that's something let me put this over here. I deal with this Wednesday. What is the thing at hand that we need to deal with right now? What is it that needs my direct attention right now? You know what I'm saying? And I think once that's putting things orderly, that's processing, like you said, closing some of them windows, closing some of those apps, and focus on what is the app that you need to use right now.
And when you close some of those things, sometimes your phone is operating more quickly, more clearly, and you're getting to the things you need to get to more efficiently, right? And it's all about that. So it's interesting, and our minds are it's tricky. Get it, but knowing that you got to renew your mind daily.
And just putting forth the effort to set those things in, practicing those new behavior, because we always have the aid of the Holy Spirit.
For sure.
And he will bring those things and help us understand, okay, this is what we're going to do. See, because we're not alone, guys. We're not out there by ourselves. God is rooting for us to win, but we have to be in that place to hear him. Why is that so important? Because he's speaking. He's speaking to us, and we want to be able to hear and decipher what voice is speaking. I remember, and you all have heard this story in the Bible where it says, the word Lord said, my sheep know my voice, and a stranger they would not, adhere to. And that comes by recognizing and clearing out, watch this, mentally, anything that does not sound like what I presently need to deal with right now. And I think that's a great aha moment that deserves a bomb emoji.
Yeah.
Y'all know how we do it. If it's something that really resonated with you, drop that bomb emoji, because I think that was absolutely awesome that we can get to that place from mental clutter to spiritual clarity.
Yeah.
And that's our focus tonight, to help us just
clarity, from clutter to clarity.
You know, we no longer will be a junkhead hoarder.
Yeah, like
we don't do, just all over the place, just, you know.
Yeah. And why is it important? Because we want each of us to see success. We want each of us, and not even just success, we just want to be in a healthy mental space. You know what I mean? Our mental health is real, and we understand that. For as much as we can, you know, work through and keep our minds and our mental in a healthy space, it's important that you begin to do the work, because sometimes those things lead to other issues and problems, to be honest, you all. And so just considering that, why do we talk about this now? Not just because we feel it's a hot topic, but we share things on this podcast that we ourselves have had to work through. You
most
know,
of them, most of the stuff we bring.
Yeah, majority of it. And that's why we can speak and share tools. Now, we're not saying this is the only set of tools that you use, but we know that this stuff works because we've tried it, we've seen it. And ultimately, we know God is with us, and He already gave us some instructions on how to renew our minds and keep our minds clear daily, right? Guarding our thoughts and our guarding our ear gates, our eye gates, and all the things that seep into not just our heart, but our minds, our mental, so that we can be healthy in how we respond, be healthy in how we speak, be healthy in how we show up every day.
Absolutely.
Right? And healthy, not just physically healthy, but I mean just, you know, just attitude and all the things, you know. So we're rooting for everybody, you know, especially in a time, the world right now is heavy. So we want to make sure, I said, the enemy's coming for a lot of the mind of people, because a lot of us are worrying about what tomorrow may bring. But God already said He's going to preserve the righteous. So trust His word, guys. Trust His word.
It's so fitting, this whole platform, what we're talking about, because it is, we got thrust of information and voices coming in daily, like gushes of water. And we have to, you know, put up those blockers, say, we're going to make this water go this way, because this ain't the time to see or do that, you know. So this has been an awesome topic, and we hope that you all enjoyed it. Now, what we want to suggest or ask or request, or however you want to package it to you all, help us out, y'all. Subscribe. And if you watch the video, don't just click off, click like. Like, if we said one thing that you like, that deserves a thumb up. And the way you like, you click that thumbs up and you unsubscribe. Because what we're doing, we're building our library so you can binge watch. That's what we want. We want to be a part of your Netflix family. We want, you know, we binge on Netflix. We want you to binge on us. So we're uploading content, and we believe through prayer that is resonating with some of the things and identifying those pain points individual that you're dealing with, but not just talking about, but giving you practical solutions. You know, it's about solutions, because I feel like this platform was created with you in mind. It really was, to not just have chit chat about stuff and things, but to bring solutions. And I promise you, if you implement these things that we're suggesting, like Val just said, it's not something we read and we just telling y'all. We have lived. We're walking this out. This is how we maintain our mental capacity and clarity. This is why we, you know, fighting and pulling hair out and all that kind of stuff that go with the territory. When you're stressed, you have to do the necessary work. You have to, there's nowhere around it. There's no magic bean that you could throw out the window and it's going to grow you a beanstalk and you climb up to it and get good stuff. That's unrealistic. That's called fables or nursery rhymes. You know, that ain't real life.
You're talking about Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah.
Like, do kids know what Jack and the Beanstalk is?
That's something with kids now. I don't think they even know about. I forget. I was like, asking our kids about something.
Do they deal with nursery rhymes?
I don't know what they teach in children's school now. I don't even know. I think they teach them about Netflix. What
grade level? Like, what they teaching them how to cook and drive?
Yeah, Netflix. They talk about Netflix and Elon Musk.
But no, in all seriousness,
you know, I don't even understand.
I need to ask some of my educators, my friends that are educators. Like, no, seriously, is nursery rhymes like bands?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that they do right now, because, you know, little kids, they're not learning that. They don't even.
Is Dr. Seuss still popular? No,
I think at graduation. Now, isn't that something?
Dr. Seuss is
Dr. Seuss, because they give that book for graduation.
Dr. Seuss book.
Dr. Seuss, yeah.
Green eggs and ham.
No, no, it's where you going, or go someplace, or somewhere you're going, or something. I'm a researcher, or if y'all know it, drop
Isn't
it in the comments.
Called You're Not My Mother.
What?
Dr. Seuss.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah,
because he asked an elephant and looking for his mom. All
different
that kind of
animals. Were you my mother?
I don't even know what was the purpose about Dr. Seuss. Like, what was his collection supposed to do for us?
Because I think it was the rhyming scenario.
I know, but when you think about a lot of the situations, it was quite cluttery.
Here, there, everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it was like too many words in his head that he had to get out of process.
All around.
Yeah, I don't like green eggs and ham in the sky. I don't like them. I'll tell you why.
I do not like
green eggs and ham.
I do not like them, Sam.
I am. But see, the whole thing to me.
I do not eat them on a bus. I would not eat them.
I don't even understand. I
used to love the green eggs and ham, though.
But like, I would not eat them in the church. I would not eat them by the dirt.
On the perch. On the perch.
I don't even know why. And it's like,
is it perch or porch?
Don't start that stuff tonight. I don't even know why. As kids, we were so into Dr. Seuss book, because when we used to go to the library,
you rhyme.
So I guess it was like it was a prerequisite to rapping. So I guess Busta Rhymes was really in tune with
No.
with Dr. Seuss.
You cannot come from Busta Rhymes, because I don't think about as fast as he raps and as skillful as he is.
Okay, we over somewhere else.
You cannot talk about Busta Rhymes.
I don't understand.
Now there are some rappers that sound like Dr. Seuss ish.
Well, see, I was never in. I didn't like none.
You know.
So all of them sound Dr. Seuss to me.
No,
but you know what's funny? It's
rappers.
Like sometimes.
Like lyric.
Have you all ever had a Dr. Seuss moment? Have y'all ever where you like fussing or something? You rhyme or something? You know.
Like what?
Well, parents tend to do that. You know.
They rhyme?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Like clean that room. I'll tell you why. Clean that room. I'll punch you in your eye. You know.
Really?
Something like like rhyming. You become a lyricist when you do that as a parent. Yeah, but anywho, y'all, we on a whole different topic, because we're JunkHeads. That we releasing that stuff out.
Well, we're excited to be back.
Yeah, absolutely, and we got great conversation coming to you. Now, remember this. What we want you to do, remember, we're creating a culture of binging. We want you to binge on our channel. So right ahead, if you look right ahead, you'll see another video. Go ahead and click on that, and you're going to be blessed with that as well. Some great content and just talking, conversation, speaking about all things, and really helping you sort through those things and fortify your faith.
We have some amazing guests coming up too.
Yeah.
Y'all be ready for
some
that.
People coming up, and also some guest updates. If y'all follow us on the Clarity Lounge, we have some guest updates that you want to check out and see. Baby Judah. Baby Judah.
Oh, you said you said baby and pause, and I'm thinking, what?
Baby Judah, because I was getting ready to say Baby Jonah, but it's not Baby Jonah.
It's
Baby
Josiah.
Judah. You make the camera.
I'm making the camera shake.
Baby Judah, y'all. When I tell you, this is
handsome.
The most handsome little kid, and he's already got the wisdom of Josiah. I mean, the architect of leadership, like Josiah in the Bible, he has the wisdom of Solomon. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
when you look at him, he's just
Josiah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is right. Wow, that's amazing. But when you see him, because they keep us in touch with pictures and stuff, and he's growing so fast, and he just looked like a little wisdom ball. He's
our adopted godson.
Yeah. And we love him to life. Love him to life.
We got him already.
We're gonna bring them back on one day, and you're gonna hear their amazing story. They have an amazing story that they're going to share. So you can expect a lot of variations on this platform, but our main focus and goal is to bring those that have implemented the Word of God and got results in a common way. You know what I'm saying? Not super spiritual, not over sensationalizing what God has told us to do, but in a practical manner, we're seeing and getting results because we're implementing the Word in our practical life. So if that's something that you find value in, continue to support our channel. And remember, click that like,
share.
Oh, I forgot to share. Yeah, I forgot to tell y'all to share.
See,
share and subscribe. Start a watch party. Yeah, you did it. Start a watch party. But remember, watch this video, or it might be over there. I'm forgetting where I'm supposed to be pointing, but it's somewhere. A video gonna come up somewhere here. Remember to click on that, and we'll see you over in the next video. All right?
Balancing clarity, real talk, real faith and harmony. Let's laugh, let's come on in with Andre Valerie. Let's begin finding purpose, balancing clarity, real talk, real faith and harmony. Let's laugh, let's grow, let's dive deep. Inspiration for your soul to keep the JunkHeads.